Hello, and welcome to PoE For Dummies, Labyrinth Edition. Get ready for this one. This one might be a little bit longer because there are many mechanics, a lot of things to explain, with everything that is going to set up your character through the acts and into endgame. Labyrinth is a maze in which you have to kill a boss 3 times in order to get to the end and then choose your Ascendancy. As you maybe already know, every class has 3 Ascendancies. As an example, my Ascendancy as a witch is an Elementalist. How do you get the Ascendancy? You get it by completing the lab, getting to the Divine Font at the end, and choosing your Ascendancy and your first 2 points. There are 4 labs, 2 points each, that you can allocate however you want in your passive tree. Now, to make this a little bit easier on everyone, there are amazing people over at poelab.com that I will show you today, and I will show you one of the lab runners that is doing labs and all the community things, which is great, and they are amazing members of the community. So first, let me show you where the locations are. So you have 4 labyrinths. One is level 33, one is 55, one is 68, and one is 75 plus. There are uber versions which are level 83, and they have different varying things, but the pattern is the same as the 4th lab, which is called uber. So first things first, for normal labyrinth, the locations are here in the pictures. I will, of course, post all of these down in the comments below. You can download these pictures, put them in your add-on in Awakened PoE Trade, and use it like that in game so you don't forget it. Before we carry on, let me just tell you that the labyrinths themselves, these trials, are very simple. Enter, open a door, enter, complete a mini puzzle, get to the end, click on the tablet, and that's it. It will give you a portal to leave out, you exit out, that's it. They don't take more than like a minute or 2 per. Okay, so Act 1, Act 2, Act 3. Once you get to Act 3 Town, I will show you here. So you go to Act 3 Town, then to activate the altars, or to activate the altar for the Ascendancy, you come here, pick up this thing, you click here. The problem is you need 6 of these to open the first lab. So when do you get the 6 of these? You get once you finish Act 3. By the end of Act 3, you will get all 6. Then you come here, you click Aspirants Plaza, you enter it, and then you click on the waypoint. The moment you click on the waypoint, that's when this button appears here, and you will never have to go Act 3, back to the font, and so on. So you will just always use the waypoint. Here, in this location, here's the labyrinth activation device, and as you can see, all of the labyrinths are here. I'll explain those in a little bit. Second lab is the Cruel Lab, which is in Act 6, 7, and 8, only 1 per act. 3 of those make it total. There's the Merciless Lab, again, Act 8, 9, and 10. I suggest doing this one before Kitava if you can. If you are not sure, if you don't have enough resistances to get it after Kitava, and it also helps to kill the boss. And then the Uber Lab, the final one, can be accessed in Yellow Maps Plus. So Tier 6 Maps Plus, they have a chance to drop a trial. A trial is the same as it was the statue back there. There's a mini statue, there's a portal, you enter the portal, you do the trial, you get, from that trial for Uber Lab, you get an offering to the goddess. That is your key to enter the Eternal Labyrinth, which is also called the Uber Lab. It's a little bit more difficult than the others, of course, but it has enhanced rewards. So that's what you get from this one. There are 6 of those trials you can encounter in Yellow Maps Plus, but since a few leagues ago, they have removed the requirement to do all 6 to be able to enter the lab. You just need the offering to the goddess. If you're playing later in the league, you can finish your maps, or finish your story, get to the maps, buy an offering to the goddess, and go straight to the Uber lab. Now, there are 3 additional labs that are level 83, which is Lab of Fortune, Opportunity, and Potential. Each one of these costs a special to the goddess, either dedication, gift, or tribute. These ones give you, there is the second link, these ones give you the special things. So dedication to the goddess enhances gloves, boots, helmets, 3 choices, and belts. So these give you belts, dedication. Tribute gives you labyrinth rewards are enriched, and gift gives you divine font can be used 6 additional times. Before we get to that, each one of these enhances one aspect of the lab. It's either boss is more difficult, traps are more difficult, or mobs are more difficult. Those are those 3. Now, to explain what a lab does. The first labyrinth gives you an enchantment for your gloves. These generally do some small effects. I will list all the enchantments down below. There's a lot of them, so I'll just cover the basics. They give you, let's say, of reflection. When you get hit, you reflect out a few projectiles. That's it. The Cruel Labyrinth gives you the second option. It gives you boots and gloves. So it gives you boots. Boots can have increased, like this one, increased attack and cast speed if you've killed recently. Of course, lower modifier. I think it's 8% for the Cruel Labyrinth. Merciless Lab adds an additional one. So it gives you gloves, it gives you boots, and it gives you helmet enchant. Helmet enchants are the strongest enchants in the game. Unfortunately, Merciless Labyrinth, as it has no cost of entry, has lower tier or tier 2 of these enchants. As an example, I have tier 1. Determination has 30% increased mana reservation efficiency. Tier 2 is, I think, 15 or 20%. So you can cheap out and go that route. The problem is, there are around 700 to 750-ish, if I'm not mistaken, head enchants that can roll from labyrinths. Eternal Lab gives you top tier of everything. Top tier, top tier, top tier. Everyone runs these labs, that people actually who want to get the strongest enchants and so on, but you can always use a tool to buy these ones as well. The tool is in Discord. It's called TFT, which is the Forbidden Trove Discord. It's a community-made Discord in which you can get a person to run lab for you. You give them your head item. They run labyrinths, and they will give you the enchanted item after a certain period that you guys agreed on, and then you pay them, and that's it. That's the best way to do it, because it's not worth going in and running yourselves. There are specialized builds that run labs extremely fast and efficiently. Now for the other ones can enchant belts, ones do have increased labyrinth rewards at the end, and ones can use the font 6 additional times, which of course means you can have 6 more helmet enchants, which sell for quite a good sum. Now to go back to the trials, we have here, there we go. We have here this one. So Uber Lab, Merc Lab, Cruel Lab, Normal Lab. It goes from right to left on the difficulty. So if you open a lab, this is how it looks. Of course, there's a video that I ran a lab myself for today's layout, which I have there on the screen, the side. I ran it. I will post the video down below. Nothing to worry about, so you can see in general how it is, but we'll go through mechanics. What you want to do for normal, cruel, and merc lab is, in general, always follow top right, this one on camera, path to quickest boss. That's generally the rule. So you open it up, you can see the dot. The dot explains where the door is for the next map. You go in, top right, boss, then you enter here. There's top right here or top middle there. And then the next room, top right. This one is again top middle. It has bottom left, top right, and top middle, and aspirant trial. Now, there are these symbols, which is P is a puzzle that you can solve if you want to. These won't be covered in this PoE for Dummies series. D is a dark shrine, which I will cover, as you can sometimes find them in the way. So they are extra rooms that you see a wall and there's a switch that you need to mouse over to find. Click it, it opens the door, the wall. You can kill the mobs inside, click on the shrine, and the shrine gives you a permanent buff. These buffs vary. You can add additional, you can get additional font, you can get additional key, you can get additional shrines, and so on and so forth. I will, of course, link it down below. And there's G, which is Gauntlet, which is like a mini trial in a trial that you need to just pass, usually a few flame dashes, and that's basically it. Now that's for the normal lab. For Crew Lab, you can see here, it's a little bit more complex. But in general, you still follow the same rule, and there are... Oh, in the normal lab as well. There are silver doors too. Silver doors are doors for which you need silver keys. They will be displayed where they are, in which room. In general, if it's not displayed, it means it's in the same room as the door. So these don't have any keys displayed. That means it's in the same room. So you pick up the key, you go there. They will give you some items that can disable end boss mechanic. One or more, depending on what keys you get and so on, or you can just get more currency. So that's the Cruel Lab. It's a little bit bigger. Merciless Lab is even bigger as well, but Merciless Lab includes a golden door. For a golden door, in general, you need to go to a different room, but for Merciless Lab, it can sometimes happen that the room is same as the key, or the door and the key are the same room. So here, as an example, it is the same. You pick up the key, you have to do a small gauntlet, pick up the key, open the door, and the yellow symbol means it's a quicker way to go through. If there are two symbols, two dots, they will always show you to which room it goes, and there's always explanation what's done. Now, the most important lab is Uber Lab. As I said, I did this one, but you can see here it has multiple rooms. Multiple extra rooms. So in top left, you go in a special room to grab the key. That's a mini gauntlet. You will see it in the video, of course. Everything is ran slowly, so you would understand it properly. Pick up the key, you exit out, and then you come back to the door. There's two doors. You open up whichever one you want. I think I went for a top right. Did the gauntlet, did everything. Now, the most important part is, once you get to the boss, you can either go back a previous room or go back a different room if the boss can be accessed by two rooms like this one can. In the video, I did this. I went here to the room 7, went to room 10, went back to room 8, killed Argus, and then came back. Argus is a pet of Izzero, the boss of the lab. He drops a treasure key, he hits hard, avoid him, dodge him, kill him, drops a treasure key, and then you pop on. I'll explain what treasure keys are after Izzero. So now, the most important part. We get to Izzero. Now, Izzero has a few different mechanics by himself. So he has... okay, it's not here. Never mind. We'll find him. We'll find him somewhere. The main things that he has are 3 types of him. There is a two-handed mace version that hits the strongest. There is sword and shield that hits the weakest. And there are 2 swords that hits the fastest. He hits with physical damage, and he hits with the guardian that's above him, which also does a few things herself. That's the goddess. And that goddess can do some different things. But now let's see about Izzero. He has a ground slam. He raises his weapon, slams the ground, and he sends a wave. Simple. There's a slash. He winds up and slashes, releasing a projectile forward. This one's lethal, very lethal. So he takes up his things, he does a forward slash, and it goes ahead. I suggest dashing away. He has a leap slam, picks up the weapon, leaps, slam on your location. Again, dodge out the way. There's shield bash, charge up, and then push away. There's Sunder, holding the weapon above his right shoulder, and slam it down, sending a wave. That's another one. And Spikes, which I think the cue is he touches the ground, but there are spikes that go underneath you. So that's his thing. Now, Goddess has a few on her own. There's Mortar Barrage, so she just throws out mortars at the player. I think they're colored green. Summons Guardians. There's a random area, and each explosion summons a skeleton. Those are great for refreshing flasks. And there's a Teleport, which is a green circle around the boss that will teleport you to a pre-designated area in one of the four corners of the room. The thing is, even if you get teleported out, just go back to the regular center area. You always want to be in the center to have more area of the room. Now, there are 3 times you kill Izzero. First one is at 100% health, down to 66% health. That's the easiest mechanic. He has three things that can pop out. Those are his extra mechanics that he has, which can grant him some bonuses. Those are lieutenants, idols, gargoyles. You can all read this in the link. I will, of course, post it down below. You can activate them or don't, depending on your DPS, it's completely fine. Usually, I suggest you overlevel the lab a little bit, you overgear it, so it's easier on you. Second one is from 66 to 33% HP. It's the same as the first one, but the third one is a bigger room with traps. Those traps can be either blowing darts, they can be traps underneath you that can either pop up on a timer, or when you walk over them, they can pop up. They have a little circle. If they have a circle on a trap that's rectangular, it will pop up after some time. I think 2 seconds or maybe 1.5 seconds. There are, of course, little discs that rotate. They will hurt you as well. There can be sometimes buzzsaws. And there's the portal. And, of course, a green totem that deals damage, a little bit of damage to you when you use a movement skill on it, and it slows you down. There are pink ones that slow you extra down, and so on and so forth. You can read all about this here. I'm trying to keep it short, but it's a little bit difficult. So once you get to the last one, you just have to kill him, and that's it. You do not have to clear the room. Sometimes you will have leftover ads, but that's it. There's one more important thing about labs, which is the only passive tree that exists on the tree. So Labyrinth is located here, and it gives you extra chance to contain a trial of Ascendancy, 6%, and Labyrinth trials in your maps have 20% chance to award an improved offering to the goddess, an extra 4%, that's 10% chance for lab in any map, white, yellow, red, doesn't matter, not unique, just doesn't matter what the tier is. These improved ones give you these things. You do not know which one, but they give you one of these. How do they look like? The trial itself is going to be golden colored portal, golden greenish colored, and it will say above it, contains an improved offering to the goddess. When you see that one, go in, because these can cost a lot. Gift is the one that gives you 6 enchants, which can cost a lot, and it will give you extra money. I always pick up this node because it's godsend. So that should cover all of the lab. Let me just give you one final thing. So for PoE Lab, I want to thank you people for running this website, and of course I want to thank Suit Size Small, the creator and the lab runner that is doing these labs. He's doing a wonderful service to everyone. He also has a Twitch channel, which I will, of course, link down below. Everything's run by him. Feel free to ask him any questions that you want. But all in all, amazing work from the community. It's a big mechanic. I will cover it in more detail in the segments once I'm done with PoE for Dummies. This should cover just the basics. Do your labs, get your ascendancies, and enjoy endgame content in Path of Exile. So this will be it for PoE for Dummies Labyrinth Edition. Sorry for it being too long. It is what it is. Great mechanic. But we wanted to change. One final thing. If you die, you restart. I completely forgot about that one. I will add that in the beginning of the video. Have a great one, and I'll see you in the next one.